I remember the first time that I was introduced to pornography. I was with some friends. I think I was about 13, and one of my friends stumbled upon his father's magazines. Wide access to the internet wasn't quite available at that point. And I looked at it and I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. If I knew, I would not have embarked on that journey. I would not have gone down that path. What started was an addiction that led me to places I did not want to go, that filled me with regret, shame, guilt. And one of the things that I didn't realize when stepping into this addiction was that pornography has the same effects on our mind in the sense of addiction as drugs and alcohol does. When it releases those feel-good chemicals in our body and in our mind, well, I need more to get the satisfaction or the feeling that I initially had the first time I looked at it. So it takes more often, and that was the nature as things progressed. My perspective on women and my filter towards that became horribly distorted, and I began to view the world in a completely different light, not even understanding that I was doing it. Other addictions were taking place in my life, and it led me down a dark road. I would do everything I could to make the outside of my life look as good as I could, but internally I was dying, I was rotting away on the inside. And I would try to quit, and it would be 2 months, and I would somehow get pulled back into it, or it would be 2 days or 2 weeks, and I would get pulled back into it, not understanding what I had wrapped myself up in. What a lot of people may not realize is that the pornography industry, just the porn industry alone, rakes in more money than the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball on a yearly basis combined. All of those three major league sports don't make as much money as the porn industry just in America. That there's over 40 million active users on porn sites constantly. I didn't realize I was just engulfed, enchained to this world. And a drug and alcohol addiction smashed into my life almost simultaneously as the pornography addiction did. And I was a year into my recovery from drugs and alcohol, and the pornography addiction had not gone away yet. And I hated it. And I would pray and I would pray and I would fight, and I couldn't break free. And I would pray, and I was constantly praying, God, you have to take this away. I don't have the power to do this. You have to take this away from me. But it was when I began processing it with other people, being intentional about confronting it, praying against it. Even after it would happen, I would look at it, I would pray, God, I hate this feeling. Get the shame and the guilt off of me. Get this addiction, get it out of my life. And I remember one night, finally, at wit's end, after praying, after hating this addiction, and one night I was laying in bed and the temptation overcame me, and there was no controlling it. And I thought to myself, I'm just gonna pray as intensely as I can right now. And I got down in the end of my bed and I dropped to my knees and I began to pray that God would set me free, that this battle would be won in that moment. And I remember what I can describe only as what felt like somebody poured a warm pitcher of oil over my head as I was praying. And it went all the way down my body as I was on my knees praying. And Holy Spirit just overcame me in that moment. And I can look back and I can honestly say that was the moment when freedom came. And that was over 9 years ago now. There was a struggle, processing things with people, praying, intentionally fighting that. And God came and broke through and set me free like He does, sets the captives free. If it's a struggle you're facing in your life, you're not alone. There are millions and millions of Americans, there are millions of God-fearing people who are in the struggle and can't break free. But that has to come into the light. The darkness has to be exposed. It has to come into the light, taking accountability and intentionality to work and fight that, for God to come in and do what He can only do. Freedom is available. Complete 100% freedom. So are you ready for this to be gone from your life?